This episode of Beauty and the Surgeon podcast is brought to you by Let's Get Checked. Let's Get Checked is an online company dedicated to making professional health testing easy and accessible. Let's Get Checked offers fast, affordable, completely confidential at-home health tests from a range of tests from STDs, male and female hormones, and even COVID-19. Listeners of our podcast who are new to Let's Get Checked get 20% off by using our URL, trylgc.com/beauty, and be sure to use the code BEAUTY20 at checkout. That's trylgc.com, trylgc.com/beauty, BEAUTY, and be sure to use the code BEAUTY20, BEAUTY20 at checkout. Do it. Getting tested is important. It's the responsible thing to do, and you know how important I think it is to make sure you understand your labs. Welcome, everyone, to Beauty and the Surgeon podcast. I'm Amy. I'm a nutritional therapy practitioner. I'm joined today, as always, by the not quite centenarian.
I'm not a centenarian.
He's like a half-Z.
But I'm still resplendent.
Yes.
I still got that going for myself.
Yes. Dr. Jason Martin, MD.
Which I've used the word resplendent like many times.
Have you used it appropriately?
No, absolutely not. Let's throw it out. I'm at the grocery store. I feel resplendent
like
today.
This apple is resplendent.
Yes.
He's a board-certified plastic and reconstructive surgeon.
Yep.
Dr. Martin, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm feeling very old, but very excited and energized
You're
today.
Feeling very festive?
Yes.
So this is our 100th episode. We have something really special planned today. So if you are a loyal listener, we really appreciate you being a loyal listener. And if you are new to the podcast, we do podcast mostly about, things related to plastic surgery and health in general. But our last two podcasts have been a little more fun.
Yeah, fun.
We get back into, the nitty gritty of plastic surgery in our next episode. So bear with us while we have some fun today.
Yeah, I mean, it's 100 episodes.
Yes.
We started in 2015, 2021. How many years is that? 6 years?
6 years?
That's nuts.
So if you would like to watch the video that goes along
and you
with
have
this
a crown
podcast,
on, people have to watch the YouTube channel.
You got to watch the YouTube channel to see my crown. You can find us on YouTube at Jason Martin MD. You can listen on any podcast platform, but we do appreciate you watching and listening and all that good stuff. So
I had this plan that I was going to wear a tuxedo, that I was going to come in with a monocle and a cane, make it very resplendent entrance.
That would have been like magnanimous.
I also planned to shave, which I did none of these. So I did not shave. I'm wearing my scrubs. And of course, Nils, that son of a bitch, gets a haircut.
Yeah, Nils looks good today.
So he looks good. I look like crap. At the very least, you got the crown on.
Yeah, I got
so we're doing it for 100.
Yes.
Okay.
So let's jump into this. We're going to kind of talk about, for our 100th episode, we're going to talk about the history of the podcast, how we all kind of came to be. We have touched on it on previous episodes, little bits and pieces, but kind of getting the backstory, the history of the podcast.
I like to call it the oral history of Beauty and the Surgeon.
Yes. And then Nils has some really awesome stuff planned for the second half. But before we get into any of that, in the last couple of episodes, I was pleading for voicemails, as I always do. And, I get it. You guys just don't like leaving me voicemails, which is fine.
I mean, who leaves voicemails anymore? When I leave voicemails to people, they're like, what is wrong with you?
Right.
How old are you?
Voicemail box full.
We should have just asked for text.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can text that number too. Okay. But we did have some amazing feedback from some listeners in the last week that I would love to share. We had this awesome review, and the reviews really do help. So if you're wanting to support the podcast or wanting to make sure that other people hear us, you like us, leaving a review and a comment is really the best way to do that because it helps the algorithm understand that we're helpful, that you like us, blah, blah, blah.
The whole world is run by an algorithm.
That's right.
So we're trying to
play into the algorithm. See, and you can help. So we had an amazing review from Music is Cool. This was left on iTunes. It says, I love plastic surgery podcasts. This one is informative, and I love the dynamic between the hosts. That's me and you.
Oh, that's you and me.
Yeah, that's me and you. Plus, I usually hear from docs only in New York City and LA, so it's nice to see a different Denver perspective.
Yeah, so we're not coast-centric. We're all of America. That's what we represent. A little East Coast, a little West Coast, right? Kind of right in the middle.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Martin did just do some of his advanced training in New York, so we have some, definitely some.
Yeah, and I lived in Squaw Valley or Lake Tahoe before medical school, so I got a little bit of both.
A little bit of both. But yeah, Denver does give a unique perspective. And I think there's something to that. We definitely offer a little more down-to-earth perspective on a lot of things.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that's just kind of the climate.
Maybe more educational, less self-promotion. So
yeah. And then this next one actually came directly from a listener who reached out to me directly. And she said, I've been listening to Beauty and the Surgeon for over 2 years now, and it has been a very helpful learning tool. Plus, I get a kick out of the discussion, argument, and banter between you and Dr. Martin.
There's not an argument. Basically, I tell you how it is, and then you accept it.
Do we banter?
So it's not really an argument. That's just dictation.
That's right. Add entertaining to learning, LOL. When there's not a new podcast to listen to, I replay the old ones. So thank you so much for those.
I love that.
Yes. And this second one also said that she would like a cameo from Nils for our 100th episode. And you guys are going to get that today too. So everybody gets
Of course, he gets a haircut. I didn't do anything.
I got a crown. So
I know.
All right. So Dr. Martin, should we get in to start talking about the story of Beauty and the Surgeon?
Yeah.
It's a good story. So Jason meets Amy.
Oh my God.
Look at these old pictures. So Sarah asked me to find some old pictures of you and I. And do you remember this photo shoot day?
Oh my God.
So the pictures.
Remember when I looked like I had a kidney transplant?
You were very
I'm definitely heavier.
Yep.
So please watch the YouTube channel at Jason Martin MD. You can see a picture of me before I went through my life transformation.
Yes. And we'll post these on our stories too,
Right.
on our at Beauty and the Surgeon podcast on Instagram. So there's a picture of Dr. Martin and I when I'm in the pink shirt. So this pink shirt actually was smooth shapes. That was a smooth shape shirt.
2011, 2010 maybe?
10. That was
Yeah.
with Livy. So Livy
was our front desk person, and she ultimately went to medical school, then went to plastic surgery training, and she's done.
Yeah.
She's now a plastic surgeon.
Yep. She's married. She's a plastic surgeon.
I mean, come on.
Yep. She was our front desk person
Yeah.
in Aspen. And you know how it came about was she actually called me and asked if she could interview Dr. Martin because she was considering going to medical school and was really interested in plastics. And she came in, and while she was there, I'm like, hey, you know, my front desk person is leaving. Do you want a job? She's like, well, I'm only here for the summer. I'm like, that's fine.
Perfect.
Yeah. I'm like, it's fine with me. And she was so sweet. She was so awesome. She was just light and happy and cheerful. And I loved having a fellow redhead in the office. It was like all good things.
That was good.
This next one, Dr. Martin, you probably don't, do you know what this was from?
I have no idea what that's from.
So this was from when Nils first took pictures of you and I for the podcast. So before the ones that Barb said looked like engagement shots.
Right.
That we ultimately used, but in just bits and
So
pieces.
music school would like these pictures. Looks very California.
Yeah. Well, sort of. I know.
You know?
I know. I'm like,
It's like we're like some newscast team,
Right, like
you know?
back to back.
New Day with Amy and Dr. Martin.
yes. And then the one on the far side, this had to be
So you look really good in that picture.
2000, this one, 2011.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
look so good. Oh, well.
Yeah. So Dr. Martin and I met back in Aspen, and I think we've mentioned this before. So I had moved to Aspen. I'm a Colorado native, and I grew up in Breckenridge, but I had been living in Monterey, and I had just come back from Monterey, met this guy in Aspen, and he said he would
Todd.
Met Todd. Todd said he would move to Breckenridge, but I was like, you know, I have lived here my entire life, and I can't go to the grocery store without seeing people I know. I'll come to Aspen. Great. Todd had just gotten out of the Navy. He ran nuclear reactors. Todd's an awesome guy. So I came to Aspen, and I am also a licensed massage therapist. So I got a job doing massage at the St. Regis up in Aspen, but it didn't start because this was like late. It was almost the end of ski season. So it was like February, I want to say, timeframe, January, February. So the job didn't start until June. And so I got a job open baking at Paradise Bakery.
Oh, I love
So I would
Paradise
bake
Bakery.
from like 3 o'clock in the morning until 11.
Yeah, if you ever go to Aspen, I'm sure it's still open.
I'm sure
Paradise
it probably
Bakery is so good.
Yeah, it's good. And I was looking for prefix. So it was like that time of year where, like, you know, they do these prefix deals for locals mostly. And I saw this one line ad in the paper for a doctor's office. So I, you know, it's brought up to Todd, you know, hey, like there's this doctor's office looking for someone. And that's really what I do. You know, I'd love to get back into the, you know, doing more what I do because I'd worked for the Colorado Surgical Service with their heart surgeons and like some other doctors in the past. I didn't even know what kind of doctor you were. And I go in and here's Dr. Martin. And you got to tell everyone why you almost didn't hire me.
Because you didn't know like Microsoft or something? I don't remember.
Well, because he asked me if I was good with computers.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I was like, you know, I'm fine with computers,
Right.
but I'm not like a C++ expert, or whatever
Right.
that is. Yeah, I don't know how to like write code, but I'm good with EMRs, and I actually ended up doing just fine. So he almost hired this other woman only because she had
she was
computer
Microsoft
skills.
certified. That's what it was. She was Microsoft certified.
So
Listen, I'm
here we
stringent
are.
with my hiring.
Yeah,
And you barely made it through.
I know.
What was that? Was like 08?
That was 2008.
Oh, that's crazy. So
Yeah.
this is like 13 years.
Yeah. So that's how we met.
Yep.
Yeah, and Dr. Martin was fresh from Manhattan.
Oh, yeah. But fresh from New York City, ready to go.
Yeah. If you want to hear more about Dr. Martin's story,
No.
listening to the podcast about what episode?
Which is another example of an episode that looked like crap because I was
you were on trauma call.
trauma call and I had like
Yep.
a Henley on.
Yeah.
And you guys are like, oh, surprise, we're interviewing you and we're going to do a videotape of it too.
That was one of the first ones we videoed.
Yeah.
But we did a deep dive into Dr. Martin's background. He tells some really fun stories about his training and coming to Aspen and like
Oh, yeah.
being a fish out of water in the mountains.
You should listen to that. But Aspen is everything that you think it is and more.
Yeah,
It is crazy.
Yeah.
And starting a practice there when you have never lived in Colorado, nor have you ever visited Aspen. And I just like threw a dart at the map.
Yeah, we're like,
It
sure.
was crazy. So
Well,
you
hit
were
right in the middle of the map.
like, all joking aside, you were an absolute godsend, because at that point, after owning a business for a year that was, just getting off the ground, having someone like Amy come in made all the difference.
Yeah, I definitely, there was some stuff that needed fixing there. So moving on from that, Amy meets Nils. Oh, yay. Oh my gosh, look at this one. So Nils and I met at boxing. And you can see there's some pictures of us up there boxing. And the funny story with that is my trainer, Courtney, who we also did a podcast episode with. So Courtney Samuel has an awesome story too. He was I found him like just randomly searching for gyms when we first started coming to Denver. And he said he wanted me to take this boxing class. I'm like, okay. And in my mind, I was thinking kickboxing, So bring wraps, show up at this place and this time. Well, I got to the studio like way early because I'm always early, and Courtney had told me the wrong time. And Fareed was not exactly.
Fareed was the teacher.
Yeah, Fareed was not tied to time. And I show up, and Nils was there. He was recording Fareed taking a woman who was 8 months pregnant through a pretty intense boxing workout. And I was like,
combo or something.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
I was serious. What have I gotten myself into? So I was just fascinated, And then they got done, and Fareed came over to me, and I handed my wraps, and I'm standing there, and he goes, "Have you ever punched anyone before?" And I said, "No, Fareed, I have brothers." And he just laughed.
Yeah.
So it's standard boxing. So no, Nils and I do not do kickboxing. We box. And yeah, we were partnered together a lot because we're similar height.
Yep.
So that's why we would often be like, paired up like our sparring partners. So we just got to chatting. And one day I noticed that Nils, it was summer, and he'd had his hair kind of buzz cut, and he had this mole on the side of his head.
Oh, I remember this.
Yeah. So I said to him like, oh, we could take that off. And Nils said, oh, I've got it scheduled. Like my dermatologist is going to do it. And I'm like, you cannot let a dermatologist.
No way.
It was like the size, it was like a little pencil eraser. I'm like, you can't. And so I grabbed Sarah, his wife, who does our amazing slides. And I'm like, Sarah, you cannot let a dermatologist go hacking away at Nils' scalp because he'll have a bald spot. There'll be this horrible scarring. I'm like, we take your insurance, just come on.
I mean, let's be honest. We have to protect the way Nils looks, because
Yes.
that's really going to make his career.
Especially in his head.
Yep.
Yeah. So Nils came in, we took the mole off, and it was a few weeks later we were boxing, and Nils said, we were thought about podcasting because we had a fun dynamic because obviously he was awake.
You mean when we were taking the mole off your head?
Well, yeah. When you were taking it off, you said something really funny to me. I'll never forget it. You said, "So what's your deal? You sound like you're educated, but you got all these prison tattoos. So what's up with you?" And you're doing that as you're like digging away at me. And so I told you all about the video thing and everything else. And then you were interested, and we were shooting a couple of videos before that. You asked if I could come in and do
right.
Because
we shot a couple for the website.
Yeah.
And it was basically just like, hey, welcome to the website or stuff like that. You were just kind of feeling it out and see. And Sarah came with me for one of those shoots, my wife, and she had just was listening to you guys go back and forth. And in the car ride home, she said, they should have a podcast.
And this is like 2015. Were podcasts even around?
Yeah, this
then?
was about 2014, 2015.
Yeah. So when did Joe Rogan start? Like 2011?
Yeah, 10? I think 10, something like that. Yeah, like he's an early adopter,
right?
Like a lot of them. But so it was.
It was already established, but it was very niche at that point.
It was niche, but when you're trying to communicate a lot of information, like video can be a little harder for that. But podcasting is a really good way to have a conversation, but it's not that great when it's just one person talking into a microphone. So that's when, it's like, well, these two, they fight friendly, they agree friendly. And it was like, yeah, I mean, if you put mics in front of them, you could probably get a good product.
I mean, the whole the thing we put forward, the Amy and I fight, which is really not the case. We don't really fight that much at all. But there is times when Amy's like, you're not doing that. And I try to fight back, and it doesn't really work. What's funny? It's like when you guys started boxing, when Amy started boxing, I was like, oh man, I need to get on my guy game here. She's like going to literally to not like to a gym, to like a boxing area, like with a boxing mat and everything that's elevated and stuff like that, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah.
And then you took me to one of those classes, and I almost keeled over.
Yeah.
It was so hard.
Yeah. Oh man, Fareed would kill us.
Yeah. It's intense work. And Amy's a good boxer. Good form, good movement, hard punch. Yeah,
she's Colorado strong.
Good
Yeah.
Yeah. So I should have gone to this slide. The podcast is born. Nils meets Jason. This is a picture of our very first recording.
I mean, I look terrible again. So you look cool. You got like this.
Well, I love that you're wearing a suit and I'm wearing a tank top.
Yeah, I like the tank top. Like, why am I wearing a suit?
Well, it was August, so Nils told us this was August, and like wouldn't the AC not be kicking on? I think
It was hot in there.
It was hot, and I knew that because like the HVAC wouldn't run on the weekends.
But did I not take off my sport
Dude,
coat?
you could hang in a suit like no one I've ever seen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I do.
Yep. So this is Nils walking us through like how to podcast. Yep.
Yeah, so that was August 2015. And it was interesting, like, when you start podcasting and stuff like that, for anyone considering doing a podcast, I think it's awesome because you have like Nils is saying, a long form medium of getting information out there, whatever you're interested in. But I didn't really understand that at first. I thought it was more for entertainment alone. And I think it took us a long time for us to figure out like our niche, what we were doing, And once we figure that out, then it's been absolutely simple. I don't even feel like this is work or difficult sitting down anymore.
Yeah.
When at first I remember I was like, oh, I gotta.
Well, you would have pages of notes.
Yeah, I would have
sometimes.
notes.
Yeah.
That's true.
And you would almost like you were like a professor or something.
Oh yeah, I'm very professional.
But I
and
know
professory.
like a professor, like you'd have like this like outline,
Oh, yeah.
to like follow and
Like I was giving a talk.
Yep.
And
Or I'd sometimes have questions.
right.
I'd
And you
ask.
realize over time that, people listen to this podcast because they want to know stuff about plastic surgery, about health, about longevity, biology. But they really listen to it because of us talking back and forth, giving them information that's interesting, and they can take time out of their day just to escape to a different world. That's why I listen to podcasts.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I'm trying to learn.
I mean, YouTube's
something.
the same way, but I think podcasts are more like long form. Your earphones are in.
Mm-hmm.
I like to go out and garden with listening
Or
to podcasts.
cleaning, like house cleaning. It
Yep.
makes the time go by so fast. Or even just going on a walk.
And my son's always coming up. He's like, Dad. I'm like, shut up. This is the good part. Will you not come up on me like this? When I got the earphones in, I don't want to talk to you.
podcasting. Oh man. So this is a great compilation.
This is
of just
nuts. Did you put this together, Nils? This is amazing.
Sarah.
Yeah.
Look at this
Yeah.
one with Nils' crazy hair. Look
That
at
was
the
the
beard.
first time we came back after quarantine.
Oh,
was
that's awesome.
when I looked like crazy. We have KP up there as a
Yep.
guest. And
Blue shirt, red hat.
Yep, the one over
Dr.
there is
Lowenstein.
the first one in the new studio.
That's
Yeah.
once with Courtney because we got his
Yeah.
his college. He played
Yeah,
football
that's
at.
right. And then-
Lowenstein.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we went from
Aw.
one
and
room.
Mina and her mom.
Then we went to that table in the other room. Then we went to the studio. So it's like a little bit of everything from the journey.
Aw. These are such awesome pictures. Yeah. We should talk about who named the podcast. I kind of skipped over that when you brought up KP. So it was after boxing, as a lot of this apparently revolves around boxing. And I was literally laying on the floor, like dying. And we'd been, the three of us and Sarah, we'd all been kind of throwing back names back and forth. Like, what do we name this? What do we call this? Like, blah, blah, blah. And KP comes out of the bathroom. He's like, what are you guys talking about? I'm like, we're, the podcast. You're like, Dr. Martin, I'm going to start a podcast. And he goes, ha, it's like Beauty and the Surgeon.
Yeah.
It
And
was-
like-
yeah, we looked at each other just like, yeah, because we had probably gone through 20 different things
Easily.
before. And yeah,
But the problem with Beauty and the Surgeon, it denotes that you're the beauty and I'm this like stupid
the
ass
surgeon?
right next to you.
Literally the
There's
surgeon.
no credit in being a surgeon. Just-
Yeah.
I know. I mean, it's hurtful to the narcissist.
Surgeon. I mean,
It should be surgeon and that lady right next to him that's kind of beauty.
We got Lady and the Surgeon.
Lady and the surgeon. You make me
I don't
feel
know
like
if
a lady.
people would listen to that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, we through the 100 episodes, I mean, I'm sure we're going to talk about all this stuff, but through the 100 episodes, we've interviewed a decent amount of people.
This
but
was Steve. This
Yeah.
was Steve Shaw, the one in the
Yeah,
middle.
'cause of the phone.
My
Yeah,
phone.
yeah,
Yep,
that's
that
right.
was
Yep.
one of my blue Sonys.
But that's not really this type of show. Our show is basically you and I talking and then like interacting with Nils and giving good information. But I actually really enjoy interviewing people.
Well, and we've had some really awesome guests. We've had Steve Shaw on twice. We had your coach, Paul Revelia, who
Yep.
was at the time my coach as well,
The
who
man.
was awesome. I would love to have Paul on again, but he's
Yep.
so busy with his own podcast now. I think it's called Pro Physique Collective. Pro
Yeah.
Physique Collective is his podcast now. Super awesome. So if you're interested in health and bodybuilding, it's a great one to check out. He has a lot of trainers and they all kind of take turns hosting it. So they talk about a lot of stuff. Steve Shaw, his website was Ben the Barman. I think it still is, but he actually just released a cookbook of healthy recipes. He's still running all the time. Like we talked to him about his running on the podcast. Dr. Lowenstein, the migraine surgery. I mean, it's been so interesting to learn about some of these things. We had Shashi on, we had Doug on talking
Yeah.
about internet stuff. So if you're interested in hearing about stuff that's not related to plastic surgery, we do definitely have some fun guests.
Yeah.
Ryan Doris.
We had
Ryan.
Matt Metz on.
Yeah, Dr. Metz.
Dr. Metz.
Jack Zamora.
Yeah. Ryan was such a great one.
Yeah, Ryan Doris was the best.
So good. Yeah. So I think it's been an awesome 100 episodes.
Yeah, I love it. I'm like super pumped. And to be honest with you, this is probably the most enjoyable thing I do from a professional standpoint, besides surgery, of course. But I love it. I know you feel the same way.
Yeah.
And we get to talk about something that we're extremely passionate about. But the best part about it is not the information. It's just the three of us hanging out, You know what you don't get that. It's the pureness of it all. And to be honest with you, we're not concerned about algorithms, to be very honest with you, at all. Nor are we concerned about, view rates and stuff like that. We get into that because it gets us excited. But we do this because we're passionate about it. And that's how this all started. It all started from Sarah and Nils saying, hey, like these two people are kind of funny when they talk to each other. And okay, we'll have them talk about what they do, which is plastic surgery. It wasn't like, hey, we're going to make this plastic surgery podcast that everyone's going to listen to.
No.
And it is kind of crazy to find out how successful this thing is. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously we're small and we have a long way to go, but it is kind of nuts when you start thinking about the reach of this podcast, the countries that that listen to us, the number of like unique downloads, the number of YouTube views and all this kind of stuff. Just from this thing that started from a dynamic between two coworkers, basically.
Yeah. Literally at work.
At work.
Like literally just sizing a mole.
So, I mean, I do realize that plastic surgery in general is a unique subset, and the experiences that Amy and I have are probably different than a lot of people. So that makes it interesting. Also, we talk about beauty, health, fitness. These are all things everyone's interested in. So it's very apropos. Sure. But in the end, it's just you and I talking.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is no different than our daily activities.
Yeah, this is.
If you think that this podcast is any different than Amy and I, literally we go into rooms with seeing patients and we talk like we talk now.
Yeah.
That's what this is. We should just take the mics, get a consent form from the patients, and just go in there and start talking like we normally do. We wouldn't even have to sit down for the podcast.
No, and Nils can attest to that too. I mean, if when we recorded, Nils was like, "No, this is horrible. These people
we
can't do this."
It would have ended on August 15th, 2015.
Yeah,
right.
Like, nope.
But, no, the biggest testament too. I mean, with some of the reviews coming is people who say that they've gone back and listened to all the episodes, even though they're not interested in the procedures you're talking about. It's a huge testament to you guys, because I always thought it would be for people who are like looking for something specific. I'm thinking about having an arm lift or a facelift or a rhinoplasty or something like that. I'll go and listen to that episode, but not necessarily all the other episodes. Yeah. So getting reviews that say that was, blew me away. I was like, well, that shows that you guys are entertaining and educational, which was the goal from day one.
Right.
So, yeah. All right. Well, should we take a quick break and come back for our big surprise?
Oh, yeah.
Let's do it. So we're going to listen to Let's Get Checked.
Let's get checked.
Dr. Martin, I'm super excited to talk about our sponsor for this podcast, Let's Get Checked. If you've been a listener of our podcast, you know that we have never had a sponsor before, and that's because we're an educational podcast. We're not looking to monetize, and we also would never recommend something that we didn't believe in and or use ourselves.
So basically you're saying we're very choosy.
We're very choosy when we come to our testing, but Let's Get Checked really aligns with our values. We talk a lot about monitoring your blood values of certain things. We talked recently about vitamin D serum levels. We talk a lot about hormone levels, and it's hard for some people to get to a lab, or you're afraid of the blood draw, or just, you're concerned about confidentiality. Like you have a lot of concerns and you just don't do it. Let's Get Checked makes it super easy because it's completely confidential. You do it from your home. So there's really no excuse not to do it.
Yeah, and we did it recently. Both Amy and I did it. She looked at her women's health, basically her hormone levels, and I looked at mine on the men's health side with testosterone. It was very simple. You go online. Their online interface is really easy to use and good. We got the testing kit very quickly, and the test itself, actually doing the stick, you do a stick on the end of your finger, is not hard to do. It only took about 3 to 4 minutes. You put it back in a sealed envelope that's confidential, goes back to them. You get your results in 2 to 5 days. It's really that simple. And the best part is it's about empowerment, about you taking control and trying to do things that are positive for your health and life. And this is one way to do it, literally from the comfort of your own home.
Yeah, so they offer a wide range of tests. So they do men's and women's hormone panels. They do a full panel of STD testing. They also are now offering a COVID-19 test at home. So there are a lot of other just basic blood levels that you can get tested as well. And one of the things that we always say is you can't track what you don't check. So you might not know what's normal for you in the future if you're not checking it now, especially as it relates to hormones. And men's health specifically, I feel like is a little bit undertreated. I mean, sperm counts are dropping by a large percentage in men these days. Most men struggle at some point in their lifetime with low testosterone.
And those men do not know what the symptoms of low testosterone are. Depression, anxiety, sleep problems, osteopenia or loss of bone, loss of muscle, and something we treat all the time, gynecomastia or male breast growth. These are real problems that can be improved or treated with testosterone. And these men do not know their levels. It's so easy to get checked. And this is why we're so excited about the sponsor.
Yeah. And Let's Get Checked is a completely CLIA certified lab, the CLIA lab. So they're a well-established, completely safe lab to use. You do get contacted after, so you get your results. I got a text at 4:30 in the morning, which I loved, that my results were ready.
And we're both up at 4:30, so that was good.
Super excited. And you have access to not only a nurse, but also a physician. So a physician does review your results, and it gives you a little breakdown of like where you're sitting on those levels. Dr. Martin's had even comparisons of like where two of the levels should be in relation to each other, which is a really important thing to note.
Right.
Just being within the normal range is not always enough. So it really gave more information than that. You'd still want to, of course, reach out to your own doctor if you needed some additional assistance with these labs or you did see something that was concerning. We didn't, thankfully, so that was good.
Yeah. We were both good. This podcast is about empowerment. It's educational. In my private practice, I'm a board-certified plastic surgeon. We are all about empowerment, and this is one way to do it. So we're very excited about the sponsorship, and we're looking forward to using it for our patients moving forward.
Yeah. So as a listener of our podcast, if you're also a new time user to Let's Get Checked, which a lot of you probably are, we do have a 20% discount code. So you do need to go to our specific URL, and it is linked in the description box below, but it's going to be TryLGC, so TRYLGC, like Let's Get Checked.com/beauty, BEAUTY. And you'll need to use the code BEAUTY20 at checkout. Beauty again is BEAUTY 220. And you can pick a test, like any test you'd like, put in our code and get your test shipped to you. Getting tested is the right thing to do. It's lets you know where you're at and what's responsible.
All right. Well, let's get tested.
Let's get tested. Let's get checked.
Let's get checked.
All right, we're back. Everybody get checked. I always want to say that when we come back from the
Let's Get Checked. It was like, what are you getting checked for? Lice,
Well, that's different kind of getting checked. Yeah.
Sorry.
So we're continuing on our 100th episode celebration. Hope everybody's enjoyed it so far. So now I'm going to turn it over. Nils has taken over, and we don't really know
this has never happened before.
Yep.
First time.
So nerve-wracking.
Okay, so for the second half here, we will be playing Name That Episode.
Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding, ding.
So how this goes is it's going to be a couple of lines from one of the past 99 episodes, and you'll get 3 multiple choice answers.
Oh, good. Perfect.
Okay. You get 3 points for answering correctly.
Yep.
If you get it right, you get to go for the extra point, and the extra point is always who said it.
Okay. So what episode?
So
who
if
said
you get it right, yeah, but don't jump the gun, because if you get it wrong, you might give away who said it anyway, right?
Right.
How do we ding in?
So if you get it wrong, the other person gets to guess. So whoever goes first gets
So you
the
just go
first.
back and forth.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so we don't have to try and buzzer.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
impossible.
Okay.
I know, but buzzers would be awesome. That's what I say. So
Okay.
on the 200th
200th
episode, I want buzzers, and I
I'll
want
get-
Alex Trebek.
I'll get podium.
Dead.
I know, R.I.P. Bring him back.
Posthumous.
Bring him back from the dead. I want.
We'll get a hologram.
Is that possible?
A hologram
Okay, all right.
of Alex Trebek. Our
You ready?
budget will be there by then.
All right.
All right, Rochambeau.
1, 2, 3.
Jason goes first.
You always throw scissors first.
Okay.
See, I was going to cover your rock.
No, because
man.
everyone always does
Rock.
paper. No, you go scissors first. You don't
Sure,
really
I
know.
could do rock first. Then.
Oh, well,
Really?
Nils would
That's
have
me.
won. Actually, I would have won because my paper would have covered his rock, but his rock would have beat your scissors.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
Okay. First one to Jason. Here it is.
If you want to bring me a bag of gummy bears to your console, that's okay.
That's okay.
That's a hard one. All right.
Was that A, episode 70, Recovery 2.0? Was it B, episode 10, Implant Selection? C, episode 34, Mailbag?
I'm going to say B, implant selection.
You're right.
Yeah,
Who
nice.
Who
And who
said
said
it?
So it's between me or Amy, right? I mean,
Well, yes.
right? That sounds like something I would say.
Wrong.
That sounds like something I would
Dang.
say.
But still 3 points for Jason.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right.
Who loves gummy bears more than me?
Yeah, you guys were talking about gummy bear implants,
Yeah,
Yes.
right? And then, yeah.
Gummy bears. Like, seriously,
So, by the
I
way,
love gummy bears.
can we just please go back to the point? People are still coming in asking for the specialty gummy bear implants.
Yes.
How many times? I feel like we have to do a PSA for America They're all gummy bear implants.
They're all cohesive gel.
They're all cohesive
Yeah.
gel.
That was episode 10, so that was a long time ago.
I got you.
Oh man, episode 10.
All right, I'm up.
Yeah.
I'm winning.
All right. So
I'm
this
feeling
one-
pretty good.
Feeling good? Amy, this one's for
Okay.
you. Okay. We're going to get a toilet extender, put our logo on it, and sell it at our office. The Jason Martin MD toilet extender.
Oh, that was
Was that A, episode 47 arm lift, B, episode 76 let's talk about sleep, or C, episode 53 thigh-plasty or leg lift?
I'm gonna go C, Dr. Martin.
that was
That
definitely.
was definitely.
I
you.
remember saying that.
Yes.
So,
Which, by the way, we're gonna this year we're gonna surpass the amount where we can have an online store with YouTube.
Yes, we're almost there.
Or swag store,
Yep.
whatever you want to call it. And the first thing going in there is a toilet extender that says Jason Martin MD on it.
There are
And can you please
thyroid
explain what a
patients.
toilet extender
I
is?
think most people know. So it makes your toilet like 5 inches higher.
Right.
It has handles.
Right.
Yep. So like bring the toilet to you.
So say the word of. So I just said toilet, and how do you say it?
Toilet.
Yeah,
Not
that's just
turlet.
like where my Kentucky comes out.
It's the turlet.
It's
some sconches.
toilet, toilet,
Toilet.
toilet. Okay,
Toilet.
there's an R in there.
All right, Amy's got you by 1 point.
Yes. Yes.
So next one's for Jason. Here we go.
Yep.
When you're pounding your body with processed foods, you know fruits and vegetables are the better alternative.
God, this could be both of us.
Was that episode 72, the nutrition conference? B, episode 25, Steve Shaw? C, episode 69, let's talk about fat?
I think that was a Steve Shaw episode. I don't know why. I'm feeling that. Are you thinking let's talk about fat? Honestly, I think it's Steve Shaw. Yeah,
You're right.
and I think actually Steve Shaw said it,
I think
But-
yeah, that sounds like
or
Steve
or
Shaw.
I said it. It was either if the choice is Steve Shaw or me. One of
You
the
got
other.
it first, yes.
Yeah.
Steve Shaw,
Yep.
7 points.
That sounds exactly what you know
That
why? Because I
sounds just
follow
like
him
him.
on Instagram.
Yes.
And that's exactly what is in his his little byline.
Yes.
Yeah. No, Steve
We
Shaw.
can see I'm trying to hide little clues in here without giving it away totally. And none of you really say when you're pounding anything. That's a Steve Shaw.
That's a Steve
that's a
Shaw
good
thing.
point.
That,
That's a good point.
straight up.
So-
Yep.
Yeah.
That's straight Ben the barman.
All right, this one's to Amy. Ready?
All right.
Here we go. You don't want to linger on your cod liver oil.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I definitely said that.
Yeah, that was definitely Amy.
Is that A, episode 79, skin tightening technology? B, episode 7, facelifts? Or C, episode 61, when experts need experts?
This is hard.
This is hard.
This is very hard.
I'm gonna go A.
I would have said A also.
And I said it.
Very
Yeah.
Yes, and you did say it, Amy. Of course you did.
I feel like after that episode, you know why I remember that is because I went to Vitamin Cottage after and I texted you a picture of the cod liver
Right.
oil.
But first, I think we need to establish the fact that cod liver oil is disgusting.
It's really gross.
Whatever benefit it brings you as a human being,
It's very, very high.
it is not worth the disgusting
is.
taste in your mouth.
Yes.
And the fact that you have to eat it as quickly as possible
You just
shows
chug
that you
it.
are demented.
Yep.
Don't
Just
linger.
shoot it. Don't linger
Do
on your
not
cod
linger
liver oil.
on the cod liver oil.
Yeah.
There were like 4 good cod liver oil lines from that episode. I had to kind of figure out which one to use there.
Gotcha.
Well, that's not the. We've talked about cod liver oil in a number of episodes.
Oh, yeah,
That's
yeah.
true. Yes.
So yeah, and I feel like every time Dr. Martin says, "Where do you even get that?" and I say, "In the refrigerated section." It's in the refrigerated section.
If anyone listening to this right now has ventured to the grocery store solely to get cod liver oil, you need to have therapy.
Well, what if that's the only thing you need?
Okay.
Good point.
Am I up?
You're up by 1 point.
yeah, of
I'm
course
still
you're
up by
up.
1 point.
Because-
All right.
All right. Next one's to Jason. Here we go.
I'm ready.
I have a problem with this study. I love salt.
Oh, that's definitely me.
That's you.
That's definitely me.
Is it A, episode 80, research we're into 2.0? B, episode 24, beauty maintenance? Or C, episode 50, longevity?
So this is tough because it could be longevity, but I'm going research we're into 2.0. Do you think it's longevity?
I don't know.
It's not beauty maintenance.
No, that was more recent.
Yeah.
It was longevity.
Damn it.
That's a tough one.
I know that was a tough one.
Amy, you get a steal.
Oh, I
Which
get a
one
s-
was it?
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
Oh,
A.
wait, I just
Yeah.
I just
No, it's good. Hey, no way. She doesn't get points,
No,
Nils.
that's a.
It's my first time being a game show host.
Right,
I'm
that's
sorry,
okay.
guys.
She doesn't get points.
All right, so no points either
No
way.
points.
Amy's
All right.
still up by 1.
All right.
Well, you definitely said that though. You do love salt.
By the way, I feel like salt's making a comeback.
It is. Salt is necessary
I
for
know.
like.
Well, that whole study was the point was that it wasn't that bad for you, and you
Yes.
were going through like how that was, but you like looked at it immediately, and you're like, I have a problem with this. It was,
Yeah, but also I feel like sugar is going to make a comeback at some point too.
I know. I disagree with that.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
No, nobody wants advanced glycated end products in their body.
Oh, okay.
No.
Advanced glycated end products.
I think though that people will stop demonizing natural sugars like they are.
exactly.
Like
That's what I'm
fruit
talking about.
and
I'm not
honey.
I'm not talking about added sugar. I'm just talking about like fruits and things that have natural sugar.
Yeah, and see that doesn't even that to me, when you say sugar, I literally think like processed.
Okay,
sugar.
I'm not talking about processed
Yeah,
sugar.
you mean fruit. Fruit's never been gone. Only crazy people cut fruit out of their diet.
That's like all of America now. Everyone has gluten allergies and they can't eat fruit because it
those
has
people.
sugar in it.
Yep, nope,
This is so weird.
not the same.
Okay,
People eat fruit.
got it.
all right, over to Amy. Here we go.
Yeah, I'm up.
Please.
That's my job, to figure out what makes you tick, how to motivate you. That's truly the difference between a trainer and a coach.
I already know this one.
I think I know
Is
this one
it-
too.
A, episode 27, Paul Ravella. B, episode 39, Ryan Doris. Or C,
Oh man.
episode 38, Courtney Samuel.
So I think it's Courtney. I feel like it's Courtney, but it could be Ryan.
I
But
think
it could be Paul.
Yeah,
Man, this is hard.
I'm gonna go Courtney.
Yeah, I would have said Courtney
Here
also.
goes Courtney. Ding, ding,
Yes.
ding.
Yep. And Courtney said it.
And it's a give me for the
Yes.
set because But yeah, I figured put 3 coaches on there and let you guys figure it out.
Well, and the reason I went with Courtney on this one
Yeah.
was because he is a trainer, and that's why I went to Courtney, but he is also a coach,
Right.
whereas I think of Paul more as a coach,
Paul's more of a coach.
and even though he is a trainer, like he's a coach.
And then Ryan Doris talked about the Vircho's
Pyramid.
pyramid.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So that Courtney was awesome. That was such a great podcast. Like I learned things about Courtney that I didn't know. Like I didn't like when he was shot and like
Yeah, I didn't know he was shot.
Yeah,
There's
the
so
whole
much.
in the whole
Yeah.
football background. The importance of a coach and taking you through your career and everything
Yeah.
else. So yeah, it was really interesting.
Well, and
for
did you know
listeners.
that so back in the day, one of his managers, his sports managers, actually was located in this building. This
Really?
building we are in right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I found, and when we were cleaning out one of the closets,
We found a bunch of old sports posters.
tons of old sports memorabilia, like some actually really cool stuff.
Cool.
And it was Courtney when he was here, when he came here, he was like, I used to have
That's
a
right.
manager in this building. So yeah. Full circle.
Very good. Amy's at 12. Jason's at 7.
This is your comeback.
No. Do we have like a blitzkrieg end round where I can bet it all?
Like a fire round.
Actually, the last one we get to bet it all. We get to decide what it's worth. That's what we're doing. Okay.
Just making up rules on the fly.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, here we go. This one is to Jason. So redheads have more fun. Is that what you're saying? Is that A, episode 43, transformation? B, episode 15, anesthesiology?
I already know this. This is B. It's B.
C, C59.
No,
is
so I know why this is. So Don Merrill said that redheads have run through anesthesia faster.
We take a lot more to put us out there.
Exactly.
Here's a question from Amy.
Yep.
Yeah,
Said,
Dr. Merrill.
I've always heard that. Is that true?
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, absolutely
Yep.
it is.
It's hard to put us down.
Now the question is, did Amy say that or did Don Merrill say that? Because that's exactly something that
Or
Dr.
did you
Merrill would
say
say.
it?
No, I wouldn't say that.
So what you're saying is redheads have more fun? I mean, why would I say that? I mean,
So I'm going to have to say me or Don Merrill.
yeah.
Who do you think?
I think you said it.
Okay, I'll say me.
It was Amy.
It was me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you little tricksy. You little huffy.
I
What are some old term words for, fast trotting redheads? That's what you are right now.
So what you're saying is redheads have more fun.
Well, he said something like, well, if I have a redhead who goes out and does drink alcohol and this, that, I have to give him a little bit more. And your response was, so you're saying redheads have more
Oh
fun?
my gosh,
That's
that's
how
I
you-
I would have guessed that you said that.
Oh, I would have said that.
Yeah.
I would have guessed Don Merrill would have said that. This is like a
Yes.
telephone game.
That is
Yeah, by the way, the Dr. Merrill episode, we're going to have Dr. Merrill back on.
we have to.
We have to have another anesthesia episode.
Episode 15, it's such great information talking
Yeah.
about anesthesia because that's probably the number one fear for people with surgery
Sure.
is still anesthesia. And people have had bad experiences in the past. And it's true. I mean, across the board, our patients who struggle with post-operative effects of anesthesia, like nausea,
Mm-hmm.
dizziness, dry mouth, they always say that that's way worse than the pain from surgery.
Sure.
So minimizing all those things and just, yeah.
Something
It's an
called
awesome episode.
PONV, postoperative nausea and vomiting.
Yeah.
There's a real problem with surgery. And when you have a good anesthesiologist, you can avoid that.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
You guys talk about PEC blocks and all sorts of
Yeah.
options
Yeah.
for people. I'm
Yeah, look
sure
at you throwing out the medical terms there.
well,
PECs 1 and 2
We
block.
should do another one because
Yeah.
I'm sure it'd be really helpful for people.
Right.
who
And you talk about tap
know their
blocks too.
options.
I still have people come up to me. I've listened to your episode on tap blocks.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it's episode 15,
Yeah.
which is like what, like 2016?
Yeah, no video that one. That's why we should do another
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
I have the video of that. I recorded it on my phone.
I didn't know.
Yes. I have the whole video. It's like 42 minutes. I have the whole thing.
Okay.
Yep.
Right on.
So, maybe someday I'll send that to Nils so he can.
Do I have
Try and edit
the
it.
stupid sport coat on and the fat face?
You
Because I
guys-
don't want to see
You
it.
guys are both wearing suits, like dress
think so,
clothes.
yeah.
He's wearing maybe a button-up shirt and no jacket, and it was weird because I'd never seen him not in scrubs.
I mean, COVID totally changed everything.
So it was very
like, I don't, yeah, okay.
Well, we did some videos with him afterwards.
We did.
So he
Yeah.
dressed.
Maybe he did have a
appropriately
suit
to
jacket.
do a couple of videos. Yeah.
He looked like a bouncer.
Mhm.
Yeah. Good guess though.
Yeah.
That's great.
Good guess that one.
All right, Amy, to you. It's like a skin tightening chopstick.
Oh, yeah.
I think I said that.
Yeah, you said that. And it was definitely on,
Hey,
it was
so there-
Accutite.
you can't not
or
even let me
body
get
type.
through. You're not even letting Alex Trebek read the question.
Yeah.
Do we even need you, Nils, for this episode?
I don't know if you want to listen to the 70 episodes I went through to do this. I'll give it to you. B, Accutite, C, lower eyelids.
Ooh.
So I think Accutite, but it could be lower eyelids too.
We just did lower eyelids though, and I
Put
don't.
a new one on there.
Yeah, I don't remember saying it that recently. So I'm gonna go B, Accutite.
And you,
You're right.
That was me.
It was. And actually, that was a trick because you both said it.
Oh, so either one would have been
It would
correct.
have been correct. Yeah.
It is like a skin tightening chopstick.
Yeah.
I know.
It's like those chopsticks for babies that are
Yeah.
connected.
You were trying to describe what it was, and you were like, "It's
If someone's listening to this and they've made it
chopstick.
this far in the 100th episode, there you go. Here you go.
Skin
Look on
tightening
YouTube.
chopstick.
Tupperware.
There you go.
70s Tupperware.
Tupperware,
Yeah.
70s Tupperware green.
I got all kinds of fun props in the
Yeah.
background
I
here.
love how you
This
just
is a
pull them
face
out of
tight.
Yeah.
nowhere.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
You're kind of like a magician. You know,
Yeah,
you're like,
I
You just went,
Look what I
Got
got.
it right here.
Like, oh, wow. We're going to talk about Accutite. I got it right here.
I got it right here, man.
that was a
You
funny.
bring those out on your dates, you know?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so popular.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you want to talk about weird medical procedures?
Oh, I
People-
got
guys
an
love
Accutite
that.
up my sleeve.
Well, you guys went through the whole technology, and then like the last 10 minutes, you just try and describe what it looks like.
Right.
So,
Oh, well, there you go. That's what it looks like. Chopstick.
all right. And that was all for 16. All right, going to Jason.
All right.
I'm a little anxious about the term plastic surgery. I'm not sure what falls under that umbrella term.
This is a hard one.
Episode 1, Beauty and Cosmetic Surgery Advice from Dr. Martin. B, Episode 48, Head to Toe Cosmetic Procedures. C, Episode 93, Is Plastic Surgery the Key to Happiness?
Oh, this is a tough one, too.
It's so tough because I would say C.
Yeah.
I would say C, but I actually think it's probably the first one
Yeah, I think it's not B.
because I don't think it's B.
Uh,
And that's, you know, when we first started this, I was so caught up in the syntax of plastic surgery.
I actually, well, I'm not going to do this to you again, so I'm not going to give.
Well, you tell me. Come on. We're doing this together now.
Oh, we're just together now.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Sarah said this. Yeah. So it would have been from episode 1.
I'm going to say episode 1. Alex.
Ding, ding, ding.
Okay.
All
So
right.
who said it? Who said
said
it?
it?
Do you think it was Sarah?
I think it was Sarah. Yep.
Oh.
Because I am not this articulate. Sarah is. But don't listen to me
Yeah,
because
and let me just say something. And I hope everyone's listening. I am personally not anxious about plastic surgery.
neither am I.
It's what I do for a living.
Yeah. Like I definitely did not say
So
that.
Nils doesn't seem like he's anxious about it.
Nope.
So I'll say Sarah. I think Sarah.
That is absolutely right.
We
See, I
know
gave
we
you
know
one
our
back.
podcast. We know our podcast.
That's
right.
Yeah, we know our podcast.
And that's all the way back to the beginning. I'm
Yeah.
very impressed. Very, very good.
Shout out to Sarah.
Shout out
Yep.
to Sarah. Okay. And I think this is the last
This
one.
is the
for
la-
Amy.
Now, real quick
Okay.
on this. Real quick. It's double or nothing, whatever the point total I need to win. Okay.
Well, okay, what if we just have him not give us options and we each get one guess?
Okay, that's good. That's good. I like that.
We don't have to know the episode number, but we do have to know at least like enough of the name
Very
that it
good.
makes sense.
All right. You
Winner take
chose.
all.
Here we go. You
All right,
ready?
let's do it.
But I still get to go first.
You go.
I'm a
Okay.
board certified
Oh.
plastic surgeon.
I mean, episode 1.
I mean, I've said it 1,000 times.
But you said it first on episode 1.
All right, I'm giving you the options. Is it A, episode 18, rhinoplasty, B, episode 78, rhinoplasty 2.0, or C, every episode
C.
ever?
See, that's so good. All right, it's a tie. We'll make this a tie.
I think this is a fair tie.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to guess that you said it.
Oh, I said 1,000
Like you were definitely the one who said
I
that.
don't think there's anyone
And
else.
I hope
doing
people realize I'm saying it a little bit tongue in cheek because no one cares anymore.
No,
That you were a
it's
board
one of the
certified
most
plastic surgeon?
important things that we say on this is to make sure that you
They're
go to a board certified
board-certified,
plastic
yeah.
surgeon.
Yes.
You're right, Nils.
The fact that you emphasize that every episode is important.
No, you're right. Yeah, I say it for a meaning. You're right.
I just thought it's funny because when we went through all of them, it's just like, yep, I
Every
think
time.
every episode.
So that was just absolutely amazing. Thank you for putting that
That
together.
was so cool.
And that was Name That Episode. But thanks for playing, guys. That was fun.
No, thank you, Nils.
Thank you for putting that together. That
I think most importantly, it's the 100th episode, so we've talked about Amy and her inability to win these contests. And we've talked about my amazing ability of being board certified to win these things, but we haven't talked about Nils and Sarah and what they've done for this podcast too. So I think
oh my goodness. I mean, we couldn't do it without them.
Yeah.
Like it would literally be nothing without you guys. Like
Thank you.
if you want to know what it would be like, go back to episode during the shutdown,
yeah,
which was
April of 2020.
Quarantine, yeah,
yes.
And just FYI, we've talked about this before. We did an episode and it wasn't taping.
Well, it taped the first 20 minutes, but we continued to talk for another like 40
Yeah. And then we had to go redo that part.
from that part on.
So
yeah, and we did.
we can't even record. But Nils makes this amazing. Nils and Sarah are the ones who kind of put this together. So we're truly indebted to
well,
them
even
both.
with those, I mean, Nils still edited those, and Sarah still made slides.
I know.
So,
So,
we
thank
really
you,
could
man.
not do without
I mean
them.
it.
Like
I
it
mean
is.
it.
I love doing it. I
Yeah.
love being
Me too.
here.
Not many times in life do you have creative combinations that come together that actually make an amazing product. And this is it. So we're truly appreciative for you guys. I mean
Yeah.
that.
And that's one of my favorite episodes every year is our top 5 because we do a top 5 every year. And it's always so much fun to go back and listen to the podcasts that we've made over the course of the last year.
Yeah.
So to go back and listen to all 100 or 99 is quite the undertaking. So
Oh, yeah.
these were really fun.
And when we do that yearly thing, so I start out in January, and then my you know me, Amy, my tentative just starts to go down. Then I'm listening to it on 1.5 speed.
Oh, I always
And
listen
before
on
you know it,
1.5.
I'm just like, oh, screw it. I'm just gonna get this, these 3 that I know I want. Like, so the fact that you actually went through, man,
Yeah,
it means
that's
a lot.
awesome. Yes.
I mean, we did it. It was 100. We
100
made it to
episodes.
100.
Congratulations.
Made 200. We really, I mean, also, we could not do this without all of you who are listening. I mean, that truly cannot emphasize enough how much we appreciate those who listen, those who interact with us, and really find value from it. I think that for me is one of the main reasons why I love doing this, because I really do hope that we break down some stigmas in plastic surgery and ease fears. We may not be your doctor, but just knowing that,
Right.
some of these things aren't as scary as they sound, or that you can do this, and that we see everyday patients do these surgeries successfully and be happy. And
The best emails and ratings and reviews that we get are the ones where people talk about that they really thought our podcast was useful for them on their plastic surgery journey.
Yeah.
And that's even more than maybe someone that would come to us just because they listen to the podcast. Amy and I love that. The fact that you can use us as a resource, our experience, and it helps your experience through that plastic surgery process is like what makes this all worth it.
recovery, or
Yeah.
working through, research articles, or even just finding interesting stuff from the guests we have on. So
Yeah, I mean, and again, kudos to Nils because he said that. He goes, people will utilize this, if you just speak your truth and kind of get that information out there. And he was absolutely right. And we get that over and over and over. So it is, and a lot of times we don't share those with you because those are personal and people going through their personal journeys, but they've used our podcast for themselves, which makes it really important.
yeah. So we do appreciate all of you, and thank you so much for listening. If you would like to watch this, if you didn't already, you can find that on our YouTube channel. You get to see my fabulous crown at Jason Martin MD
You can see
on
that I
YouTube.
have not shaved.
Yep, Dr. Martin's 5 o'clock shadow. It's
Yeah.
more like a 10 o'clock
I
shadow.
mean,
at
what
this point.
happened? If you go to the episode 1, I had a suit on, a coat, sport coat.
Yep. Now here.
Now look at me, unshaved.
You still look better now.
Yeah, you look way better now.
I know.
If you would like to leave us a voicemail, I'm gonna read
No,
the number.
let me read the number. Okay.
Maybe they'll leave Dr. Martin.
And by the way, Nils will show it down here. Okay. 303-630-9038.
And you can text to that number as well. So you don't have to.
And if you care about Amy and her life and how she feels, You will leave a voicemail for her.
I'm
She
an
does not
80s
have
baby.
a lot in this
Yeah,
world. She
yeah.
does have her Google voicemail
My
account.
Google Mail.
All right.
So thank you so much, everyone, for listening, and we look forward to 100 more.
Thank you so much.
Bust it out, man.
Ow, that kind of hurt.
Don't forget to check out our sponsor, Let's Get Checked. Let's Get Checked offers fast, affordable, and completely confidential health testing for everything from STDs, male and female hormones, and even COVID-19, right from the comfort of your own home. And remember, new customers and listeners of our podcast get 20% off by using our URL, trylgc.com/beauty, and be sure to use the code BEAUTY20 at checkout. That's trylgc.com/beauty and use the code BEAUTY20, beauty, BEATUY 20 at checkout. Get checked. It's the right thing to do.